What's up, guys? We're back again. This is the One Stop Podcast. I'm here, Jesse, with Michael and Pravat, and we're going to get into some good NBA content this morning. So this morning, there's two fans who got banned from both the Knicks arena and the 76ers arena for interference with the players. So one fan who threw popcorn on Russell Westbrook, like literally dumped popcorn on him. And the other one tried to spit on Trae Young. So give me your guys' thoughts on that, because I just think that's classless. That's not needed in any sense. And I'm glad they got banned.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. I feel like that's like why I don't even know like what the purpose is, because you're gonna get banned. You can't spit on anyone anywhere, let alone like a professional athlete in a game. And throwing popcorn, that was it looked like a sketch. Like, who throws popcorn on Russell Westbrook? But I think the fans are like, they don't know what to do now that they've been out of the stadium for so long. They come back and they like think they like own the place, I guess. It was pretty crazy to see.
Yeah, no, as a fan of the NBA and someone who obviously wants the players to be safe and respected as well, it's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I think they said it best on the Knicks broadcast, just because, you have high paying seats. I mean, go for it. You can shout, you can scream, you can hassle the players, whatever, but there's a line that can't be crossed. And, throwing popcorn and spitting on a guy, like, it doesn't matter how much you pay for the tickets. Like, you have to have some decency and some respect. So it was shocking. And yeah, it was disappointing too. Happy, obviously, I think we can all agree that those fans are gone. Can't come back to those games, rightfully so. But, I'm hoping Silver and those guys up there make some real, change with the fan interactions and player interactions, because it's been going on for too long and it needs to stop.
You guys think like the teams, like who's hosting, like the home team should get punished in any way? Because, and again, those are their fans.
I think that's tough, like, because there's only so much the home team can do. Like, they can ban the player, but I don't think you can really, like, you can't like fine the team or anything, because it's not their fault. Like, they don't know who's coming to their game, and it could be like an away fan too. It could just be you don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to see, but I mean, I think the teams themselves should be putting some system in place to make sure it doesn't happen. I wouldn't punish them, because obviously no team would want that from their fans. It's embarrassing to see, but I think there's going to be a level of importance and change that's going to come with everything that's just happened.
Yeah, it's sad to see, because you haven't seen sports in a long time with full capacity or any people at all, and then to see this happen in the playoffs, this is like horrible, especially with the whole Trae Young situation. Like we said, spitting on someone regardless, that you can't do that. Like, that's disrespectful. But just think about it. It's a playoff game, first playoff game back, and this is the representation you're having. There's no need for that at all. And it was right in front of Spike Lee too. So that guy was like, it was right in front of everyone. What do you guys think about? Because we know players can't go in the stands, but how would you feel like if just letting them go like one time?
I think that gets dangerous, because then it's like the Malice at the Palace.
Besides, some fans, like they deserve that, because
they do, but
they have that perception, like, oh, like I can do this to you, but you can't do this to me.
As a viewer, that like Malice at the Palace is like a crazy thing to see, but I imagine it was really bad for the NBA. It's like all these players are like beating up fans. But I mean, of course, it would be interesting to just see like a boxing match between like this fan that spit on Trae Young and Trae Young, and they just go at it for a couple minutes. But I don't think that'll ever happen.
Well, it was Russell Westbrook, and they had to hold him back in the tunnel because he was on a mission. He was on a mission himself, like, because Westbrook is the type of person that's not going to take anything from anyone.
That's true.
The whole popcorn situation.
I mean, can you even blame him? I mean, a part of me, as a person, I wish Westbrook had the opportunity to go up there and just give that guy a smacking, because like it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like you've got to respect the game and respect the players. So, like you said, Michael, I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind too. I mean, it would have been Mouse at the Palace Part 2, players, fans fighting. It would have just been all over the place. So part of me would have liked to see that too, but hopefully in the coming years, or actually in just the coming games, we start to see some change and players can start to fix that. But moving on to our next topic, now we're going to talk about some of the games from last night, and one of the best matchups we saw last night, Ja Morant and Donovan Mitchell. Oof. It was good to see him come back. They went at it. Morant with 47. Takeaways, guys. What were you guys thinking? What did you like?
I love Ja Morant. I love his game. He looks like it's his second playoff game. He looks like a vet. He's carrying his team out there. Him and Dylan Brooks look like a nasty backcourt. This is much better than a 1-8 series, I think, because the Grizzlies, they have nothing to lose, and they're just out there the fast breaks are insane. They're just trying as hard as they can, which is really good to see. And I think Morant, like, he's going to be a force in the NBA for a long time with Doncic and Trae Young. Like, those are the future point guards, I think.
I don't want to throw anyone under the bus in the back sports page whole like universe, but we had some people in the group message saying that he wasn't a number one, like he was a Robin more than a Batman. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yep.
But I had to stand up for Ja, and that looked like no Robin right there. 47 points on the number one team. Now, albeit he did go to the free throw line 20 times, but that just shows his aggression. And the highlight that I love the most, even though it was a highlight for Rudy Gobert, was no fear going for the dunk attempt on him. Like, how many people do you see go against Rudy Gobert like that? Especially a 6-foot guard, second year in the league. That just shows like the heart and the fire that he has. Like, you're gonna be in my way, like I'm gonna try and go over you. Like, there's no way around it. And I love that fire in him. But like we said the other day when we were trying to break down the whole series, you also have the contributions from Dylan Brooks, from Slow Mo, Anderson, Valanciunas. Like, they don't have scrubs. Like, they have a squad. And this is a hot take. But this series honestly reminds me, like, as a Laker fan, the 2010 matchup of the first round with the Lakers and the OKC Thunder. I
That's
know
fair.
it's like nowhere like dynamic, because that Thunder team was 3 MVPs, pre-young MVPs right there. Nowhere near the dynamic, but you can compare that. Okay, you have the Westbrook image in Ja Morant. Dylan Brooks isn't a scorer like Durant, but he could fill the basket up for you. You have an off the bench scorer in Grayson Allen, just like James Harden was. Serge Ibaka, Jaren Jackson. You have
I like that
right there in Valanciunas, who plays like Perk, who's like Perk. Not plays like Perk, but like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been there, done it.
Yep.
So I think it's like a lot. I like this team. This team's gonna go places in the future.
No, this is a super deep team, like you said, Jesse. Top to bottom, they've got guys who can make plays, put in the basket, and a lot of people are going to say that the only reason that they won Game 1 is because Mitchell wasn't there. That may be fair, but we can't act like Memphis didn't play a great game, and they were competitive last night too. I know Utah pulled away towards the end, but it was a competitive game for a majority of it, and so we have to acknowledge that. And now, if you're Memphis, I still think you have to be happy because you still won on the road against the team, regardless of if Donovan Mitchell was there. You still got one on the road. And now you're going back home to Memphis with your fans. You're in a good situation right now if you're Memphis. Right now, all the pressure is on Utah. If you're Utah, you don't want to come out of here and split. You want to come out there and win both games. So it's on them. It's on them to come out there and make plays and show the West why they're the number one seed. But I mean, yeah, like you said, that, and especially like Ja Morant, the dude has just been phenomenal. I think that was a Grizzlies record last night, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
47 points. Yeah, dude's in his second year, and he's got the franchise record for playoff points. I mean, I'm still taking the Jazz, but look, this is going to be a fun series, and it really could go either way. because these are two good teams. I wouldn't discount the Grizzlies at all.
They were showing the graphic last game of like the most points in your first two playoff games, and Morant's up there. I think he's in the top like 3 or 4 now. With like, I think LeBron is up there and Doncic. This is his coming out party. I think he's for sure an all-star next year. I think he's going to be up there in all the award categories, I think, for years to come.
I got a hot take. Now that I'm like, it's off the dome right now that I just thought of.
Let's hear it.
How we look now, we're kind of a year in already, and we're seeing what both Zion and Ja are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you have going for the next 5 years if you had to choose between the two?
That's tough.
That is really tough.
I would probably take Ja, to be fair. When in his draft, I was really high on him coming out of Murray State. And I thought Zion's just his injuries just scare me. Because just his body type and everything, he just lands so hard every time. And I think Ja just has more longevity. So I would take Ja for now.
I'm a big Zion guy, and I love Zion, but right now, I think I'm gonna have to go Ja at this moment. That could change by the start of next year, but based on what I've just seen in the play-in games, this playoff series, and it benefits him that it's a guard-run league, so it's that's another plus for him. But next couple of years, man, I don't know. Ja's got a good thing going for him in Memphis, so I'm gonna stick with you, Michael. I'm gonna go with Ja Morant for the next 5 years. But go ahead.
Oh, like you said, it is a guard-driven league, and me personally, when you need someone to get you a basket, like Ja he could do like mid-range. He's 3-level scorer, even though he's not consistent from 3, like as we wish he was. The fact that he could still like take and make those shots, I think gives him an advantage. Whereas Zion, he's just power. Like, I'll just go through you. Like, he has finesse as well, but it's more power. And I think for like until that athleticism like goes down and he learns actually how to play basketball, because right now he's just playing bully ball, for being honest. It's not basketball, it's bully ball. And I'm not taking anything away because it's working for him. I mean, look at how he's scoring. But Ja, like the way Ja is playing, like to me, that's what basketball is. Like, you could do it like on all levels of the floor. You're mid-range, 3-point, drive it in, kick out. With Zion, we don't really see that. We see more of a athletic type of game instead of like scanning the floor. Because once Ja learns pace, because he already knows pace, but once he actually like understands pace, slowing down the game, when to rev it up, like a Chris Paul type of sense, instead of going like 100 miles per hour like a Westbrook, then oh man, I think he's gonna be the one that New Orleans should have picked. Because imagine if you had, well, they would have had Lonzo, so never mind. But Bi and Ja,
it would have been dangerous. Ja Morant, he reminds me so much of a young Derrick Rose, just like his just like raw explosiveness. So if like God forbid he gets like a nasty injury, if he figures out how to slow down like Derrick Rose has now, it'll be like it's a pretty mirrored like track up for how they're progressing. So that's what I see it as. Ja and Derrick Rose are on the same path.
And also speaking about how Ja exploded, not that long ago, Donovan Mitchell did the same thing against the OKC Thunder, the Big Three Thunder of well, not Big Three, but the three-headed monster of Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo. Donovan Mitchell was in that same moment as Ja, and I loved how Donovan he saw it and he interacted with them afterwards about it. You can see like there's some type of relationship brewing there, because like I pointed out, Donovan Mitchell was in those exact shoes going against like the top seed, one of the top seeds in the game, and then taking them out. So he game recognized game.
I got what could be considered a hot take with how everyone's looking at the Jazz this season, even though they're the number 1 seed.
Mhm.
I think they're going to go far. I think they have everything that a championship team needs. They have like the superstar in Donovan Mitchell. They have the big man that guards. They have great defense surrounded by Gobert. They got scorers all over Bogdanovich. They got Jordan Clarkson, the sixth man. They got Mike Conley to run the game when it gets slow. I like this team. I think they're going to go far. What do you think, Prabha?
Well, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
What is your definition of far? How far is far? Are we talking
I
Western
think
Conference Finals?
I think at least the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
I think they'll beat the Grizzlies. I think they're not going to be an easy beat, but I think they'll beat them. And then next to play either the Clippers or the Mavs, but right now it's looking like the Mavs. And I think they're a pretty good matchup for the Mavs. And then in the Western Conference Finals, it could be Suns, Lakers, could be that's more of a toss-up, but I think for sure Western Conference Finals.
I like it. And yeah, the fact that the Jazz being the number 1 seed in the West going to the Western Conference Finals is a hot take. Just shows how competitive and crazy the NBA has been this year. So, and I like it. I like it. I think people forget why they're the number 1 seed. I mean, they've got everything. You have 2 guys on that team that are, and I mean, obviously Clarkson already got the 6th man of the year. Gobert's probably going to get the depoy. Knock on wood. I don't want to take anything from him, but that's 2 award winners on your team. So and then you have your superstar in Mitchell. You've got Ingles who can shoot lights out. Conley's a seasoned vet. They've got everything. That's a team you like. And, Mitchell, I think in his 3rd year now, 3rd or 4th year, he's progressed amazingly. Yeah. He's become an amazing leader. He's shown that he's capable of leading this team. And he was ready last night. He looked good. He looked efficient. And Mitchell's going to be there for that team. I think this team can go far too. I would not count them out of the Western Conference Finals appearance either.
Don't forget they have a former coach of the year in
Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Their coach, they have great coaching. They have great role players. The thing is, I think what held this team back last year compared to this year, they know their roles. Everyone knows their roles because the whole Conley experiment that took a while to digest. Because if you really take a look at it, Joe Ingles was the one who was producing the whole offense. So you take the ball out of Ingles' hands, he needs to adjust because who runs the offense? Mike Conley does. The whole pick and roll situation with Conley and Gobert, we already knew that was bound to work just because of the relationship that he had with Marc Gasol and their pick and roll situation. Donovan Mitchell, we know he was going to go up already. The Bojan Bogdanovich signing, that was just an icing to the cake. Knockdown shooter, spread out the floor. Clarkson arising, that's just another icing to the cake. George Niang off the bench. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I use this team on 2K.
They're good.
This is a team I use on 2K when I try to on the second tier, and on 2K they're ranked the second tier. I don't know how. I don't think I've ever seen a number 1 seed ranked in the second tier. But yeah, this team is loaded and from all facets of the floor. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the Western Conference Finals. But if they have to face against Luka, I don't know. I can't. Luka is just something else. That's our
Luka.
I mean, that's a topic for another day. That's too topic.
Yeah.
But I got the Jazz. I wouldn't be shocked if the Jazz go to the Western Conference Finals.
Jesse, from one fan to another, I appreciate the support. Thank you. I'm happy to see you on the Luka train. Go Mavs. But moving on to another matchup. So obviously, Jazz Memphis. We'll keep looking at that. But now we've got another interesting one. Bucks Heat. The Heat, let's be honest, have looked pretty terrible in recent times. They didn't look good in game 2. Jimmy Butler has not looked good. They narrowly got overtime in the first game, which they lost pretty badly. And then, things don't look good for the Heat right now. I don't know what's going on with them. They don't look like the team from last year. The Bucks look in control. So I don't know what the Heat have to do from this point, but tonight's a big game for them.
Do you guys think the Heat will get swept?
They lose tonight, yeah.
I've got them getting swept. I really I think they're getting swept.
Miami has some rocking fans.
Yeah.
I think they'll get this game. I think
They don't want to get tonight.
I think they need to win. This is obviously a must win, but I think they'll get it. They have too many guys that know how to win for them to keep losing this, like playing this badly.
I agree. Yeah, they've got a lot of guys, and obviously, I don't expect Jimmy Butler to continue to shoot like what is it now, 25% from the field,
something like that. Yeah,
it's not good, but I don't expect that to continue. I think they're going to make some adjustments for Giannis because he had a big improvement from game 1 to 2, so they're going to try and slow him down, and I think that's where the biggest success for the Heat is. I think the winning starts when Giannis starts to slow down, because in game 1, when Giannis struggled kind of, that's when the game was closer. And then in this game, the Bucks kind of figured it out, got Giannis going. It wasn't even close. So I think it all depends on what they do on the defensive end of the floor. Obviously, this is a great defensive team, so play to your strengths, and you might be able to, at this point, you kind of have to get both at home, don't you?
This is what I've noticed from last season's playoff matchup to this season for the Bucks. It hasn't been the sense of like Giannis playing better. It's the others around him who have been playing better. They're knocking down shots. You got Drew Holiday. You got Bryn Forbes, who went off last game, shooting lights out. That was Wesley Matthews' job last year. He honestly didn't show up for them in the playoffs against the Heat. And I think now that they're having people who are able to knock down shots for them, like those shots are like demoralizing. Once you see like you do all the defense movements, stuff like that, those type of shots are demoralizing. I think now that they have knockdown shooters that are able to do that, it's starting to take a toll, because you can see the Heat's body language in game 2 that they were dead already. They're like they saw blood. They got blood in the water, and the Bucks just ate them up.
Someone that I think gets forgotten about that like really helped the Heat get to the finals last year is Jay Crowder. I feel like he was a huge part, and he's such a solid defender, and like the size that he can guard, he would have been able to guard Giannis. I think Bam guarded Giannis a lot, but they were able to switch a lot with those two, and he was able to guard. I think he guarded Tatum and Brown against the Celtics. So he's a huge loss that I don't think is talked about enough for Miami. And they look like a completely different team than last year, because I don't think it's fair to say it was a fluke last year, because they weren't like narrowly getting by. They were like sweeping teams just back to back, but they don't look the same. Something's off.
Yeah. Not to retrace, but really quickly, you brought up Jay Crowder. That guy's on the Jazz now, so
he's on the Suns.
Oh, sorry.
He was on the Jazz before the Heat.
My bad. Got the colors mixed up. But no, I mean, I was sorry. You know what I meant, Suns. It shows. You've got guys like that who can defend at pretty much any position. It helps. So it'll be interesting to see how they go at Giannis today. And like you said, Jesse, with a lot of those guys on the rest of the team. And Drew Holiday, I don't think we've talked about him enough. His defense, what he's been able to do, and offensively too, he's looked nice. And we talked before the season when the Bucks got him, people were like, oh, this is going to be the addition that helps the Bucks get over the top, get to the finals. And I don't know about that with Brooklyn now, the three-headed monster, but so far the addition, he seems to be living up to it. He has made them a much better team. That shows on the stat sheet and in game 2.
Don't forget that big extension he signed too.
Mm-hmm.
He's living up to it right now. Right now he's living up to that extension. So all the props to Drew Holiday, because he's honestly being the difference that they needed.
All right. Well, obviously, what a great matchup. We're going to look into that as that continues and talk about it when it's over. But now we've got, I think, in my opinion, the most anticipated matchup of today. Lakers-Suns game 3. Lakers split on the road. So I think that's a good outcome for them. I don't think you go in there expecting to win 2, so you get 1, respond well in game 2, and now you got home court again. Game 3. What's the key tonight? I want to start with you, Jesse. Lakers fanatic over here. What is the key for your Lakers tonight to come out on top?
Urgency. They need to have that urgency again, like they did game 2. The bigs need to go to work just like they did game 2. Chris Paul is not 100%. You got to put a sick dog down when you see it. Game 2, I think they should have ended game 2. Game 2 is the game what they should have been like, you guys are down. Okay, you guys beat us the first game. We're going to show you who the top dog are. That's what should have happened game 2, but they gave them some type of belief. They still have some confidence. The Suns still have some confidence. But I think tonight, in the Rockin' LA crowd, the first playoff game in LA since 2013, it's going to go down tonight. And Laker fans, they want to see this. So I think I'm making a bold prediction. Lakers are winning by, we'll say 10. I'm giving a 10 plus tonight.
Oh.
They're going to dominate tonight. And if they do dominate, series is done.
Wow.
They take their will tonight. It's done.
We had the same reaction right there. Wow.
I don't know if I say the series is done, but I think pretty much this game comes down to Chris Paul and what he looks like, because he looked even worse than he did in game 1. In game 2, like he might as well play with his arm tied behind his back. He's just not able to use it. But to me, this year the Suns kind of look like the Grizzlies. Like they have nothing to lose because it's everyone. It's like Devin Booker's first playoffs. It's DeAndre Ayton's. They're just running. And if one of the Lakers guys has a bad game, they're not so good of a team. So I would take the Lakers this game just because it's the first one at home, and I don't think they'll want to disappoint all the Lakers faithful. But I don't think the series is done yet.
Jesse, I like it. I like the confidence, man. I like the pride in your team. And you know what? If they come out with a good performance tonight, then you know what? They may as well run away with this series. I mean, it's LeBron James and the Lakers. So as I said it last time, playoff LeBron is real. So tonight's going to be a big game, but as much as it pains me to say this, I'm actually going to go with the Suns tonight. I think the Suns.
Wow.
I know Chris Paul has his arm injury, and there's a lot going on. This is the first time they're going to be back at Staples Center for a Lakers playoff game in a while, but people forget how good the Suns are sometimes. I don't think this series is anywhere close to over. I think this is going to go 7. I think this is probably the first lock to go 7. These two teams are as good of a back and forth as we could possibly see in the first round. So I've got Suns tonight, and I think I'm going to say around by 5 or 6 points. That's my guess. I know it. I have no joy picking them, but the Suns, man, look, and you know, after what Devin Booker has been doing, and Ayton has looked good, their whole team, I gotta go Suns tonight.
I'll say this: after I saw LeBron chew out KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is gonna have a good game today. Bold prediction: 4+ threes made by KCP.
Oh, lay your bets down.
We keep a tally on all of our Jesse Laker predictions.
Like a guarantee.
I just gotta say that what's keeping the Phoenix Suns in this series, honestly, is the Lakers' lack of shooting from behind the arc and shooting in general. Because first game, the Lakers lost by 9. Second game, we won single digits, and that's still with hitting. I think maybe 5 or less threes a game. Most of our points are coming from inside the paint. So if Wesley Matthews, if AD, LeBron, Schroeder, KCP, if we could all hit our threes, because we're capable. We're inconsistent, but we're capable of knocking down threes. And I think with Staples Center faithful, the energy's gonna be. And I think it's gonna be a good one tonight. But now that we're done with that and we got all our predictions and our bold takes, let's go to our last game of the night, the Blazers and the Nuggets. I'm expecting Dame to go off. We got a little preview in Denver last game. I think you're at home. It's tied 1-1. You have an opportunity to go up 2-1. Dame's gonna take opportunity. He's gonna take the opportunity and run with it.
I think this is another series that could easily go 7. I think for sure it goes 6, but I think 7 is not a reach. But the thing that scares me for the Nuggets is just all their injuries, and especially the backcourt injuries. They got Jamal Murray, Will Barton, 2 starters out, and Will Barton's not playing today. They got PJ Dozier out for the whole series, so they're playing Facu Campazzo, a rookie, and Austin Rivers are the 2 starters now. So they're a little thin at the guard. So Damian Lillard will obviously, he's going to get his, like he has been the whole series. But something they did in game 2 that kind of helped them after his huge second quarter when he made like 8 threes or something in a row, they switched Aaron Gordon onto him in the second half. And that length kind of helped slow him down. You can't really stop Damian Lillard, but it helped slow him down for sure. And then they started just pressing way higher and pushing up on all the screens. So this is going to be this is probably the series I'm most excited for, along with the Lakers Suns. But I'm taking the Blazers in this one.
I hate to be the guy that's always picking against everybody's picks, but I'm going Nuggets tonight. I think the Nuggets, like you said, they figured out a lot last game. And, obviously you said you can't really contain Dame. That's just who he is. He's going to get his. I think he had almost 30 in the first half or something. The guy just goes crazy. So you can only hope to contain Damian Lillard. But Jokic looked really good on Tuesday, I believe. As you said, Aaron Gordon, a lot of those guys getting involved in the game. And, the Nuggets are a 3 seed for a reason. They're deep. They've got guys from top to bottom. Even with their injuries, they look good, and they're starting to figure it out. Mike Malone talked about it, and these guys just look more confident on the floor. And I'm thinking Jokic is going to have a big game. And, you guys both had bold takes tonight, so I'm giving my first hot take of the night. I'm gonna hope, or I'm guessing that Jokic is going to drop his first 40 burger tonight.
Ooh,
that's fair.
I think tonight is Jokic's first 40 burger of the series, and they're gonna stun Portland because I think Portland is the favorite to win tonight. I believe they are at home.
I would have doubted that at home.
I think Jokic is gonna show up and show everybody why he's the MVP. He's going to have a big game, and that is my hot take. I feel good about it.
I think it's going to come down to if the Nuggets want to win, it's going to come down to Michael Porter Jr. having a good game. And if the Blazers want to win, it's going to come down to Norman Powell. It's going to come with the power. It's going to go to the battle of the small forwards. And if we're being honest, and if I honestly, how I would see it as a competitor, if I'm Michael Porter Jr., I'm locking up Dame Lillard. Because we've seen Campazzo and Austin Rivers haven't been able to stick them. You got to put length on them. You got a young guy on there, fresh legs. He can stay out there for a long periods of time. Michael Porter Jr., this is your time, man. I like Aaron Gordon because he's bigger and more physical. But I like to see Michael Porter Jr. step up and take that challenge.
I think the whole series, Jokic is going to do well, and I wouldn't be surprised if he drops 40. Dame, it's like a no doubt he'll get close to 40. So it pretty much just comes down to what Jesse was saying, like the other guys. And I think even going past Powell and Michael Porter Jr., it's like Carmelo has to play well for Portland, and the guards, they've been playing well for Denver, and they just have to be ready to shoot the threes. And Monte Morris has been closing the games, and I think he'll have to have a big game. I think Aaron Gordon will have to keep doing it. Paul Millsap had a big game, and he doesn't get that many minutes. So I think it's all the supporting cast for this series.
Yeah, like you said, Jesse, the X factors are going to come up big, especially for Denver. And we talked about it a little bit before the podcast. I mean, Denver's dealing with a lot of injuries, so some of those other guys are going to have to come through, step up. And MPJ's been having a fantastic year. He has really stepped it up, especially since Jamal Murray went down. So I think he's going to have a big performance. He only had, I think, 15 or 18 last time, so he's going to have to do better on the road. And Norman Powell, that guy's become a threat from three. So it's really just – you can't even just look at the superstars this series. I mean, this is just a very evenly matched series. You've got both teams with players who can do just about anything the other team can do, 2 MVP caliber players, and game 3 is usually the make or break in a lot of series. So tonight's going to be a big one, and man, just looking forward to it. Some really good matchups tonight across the board. Tonight's a good night to be an NBA fan.
Well, that's going to wrap up our podcast today. Got a lot of bold takes today, but hopefully we can get some good games show up, and we're going to be back and we're going to talk about what happens tonight. I'm Jesse with Michael and Prabhat, and thank you for tuning in to One Stop.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Peace.